Alright, so here we've got PJ Masks, Heroes Mighty Alliance, being played on Xbox Series X, Xbox Series X, courtesy of Red Games. This is a pretty cool game. Definitely expands on the first game I covered on the channel, in the sense that it's just a better experience overall. So this is the first section here in the city. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stages here to play through. What's cool is it shows you the characters you're going to play as for these stages. It also shows you the collectibles you can collect, the number of crystals you have in each level, which is nice. Whether or not it's going to be a vehicle level or a traditional platforming level. It's kind of cool. So kind of like how it breaks up the... it includes the aspects of the previous game, but also makes it a bit more of a traditional experience when it comes to these kinds of games. Now, this is still a PJ Masks game. This is still a kids game, so you're going to have the constant nagging of what to do in this game, though not as much. So you'll get explanations like this with every level, but it's not going to be as bad as the first game, which I definitely appreciate, because the first game when it did that was just kind of annoying. I mean, I understood why it did that, but at the same time, it's like, really, every single level, all the time? So I like how it definitely isn't constant. It's still there, obviously, but it's not as bad. I like how this game includes not only a combination of different gameplay elements, but the inclusion of enemies. In the previous game, there was no enemies to contend with, so it felt very, very easy. This game here really feels more along the lines of a traditional platforming game, where you have enemies and such that you have to contend with. Also, you have branching paths in this one, which is cool. So it really gives you a reason to explore, and it's kind of cool, kind of neat. I really like it. It's definitely more of a traditional platforming experience for a kid, even for a kid's game. We've got the moths to disperse. Moth Girl's has moths all over the place in this section. And you also have different characters you can play as, rather than just playing as the traditional PJ Masks characters. I think there's like 3 or 4 of them. You've got other characters that have joined the fight, so to speak, to defend the city. You'll always have instances like this where you have to choose the correct character based on what's popped up on the screen. I hit the right button. I picked the wrong one, obviously. So it's going to be X for this one. And you just press the button repeatedly to fill up the meter. And then you move on. So yeah, like I said, a very traditional experience. I really like the different stages you can play through. I like the exploration. The graphics are pretty cool, pretty good for this kind of game. Has a nice challenge to it, even for a kid's game. Much more challenging than the first PJ Masks game. You got exploration, you got reasons to collect these crystals. You've got a lot of different characters to play as, different levels to play in. I mean, this is going to be your traditional platforming kids game. That I think if you're going to pick between the two, either the first one I covered on the channel, or this one, pick this one. It's going to be a better experience for you overall. It's not as easy. It's not as naggy. And there's just a ton of content here for you. Not to say the first game isn't bad, or is bad, because it definitely isn't bad. But like I said, this is going to be more along the lines of a traditional platforming experience for a kid's game I think it's going to be overall a better game for you in the long run. And even if you're not, even if you don't have kids, I mean, this game's pretty fun, honestly speaking. I mean, even for it being a PJ Masks game, which I'll be honest, I had my reservations going into this game. I really did. But it's surprisingly better than the first game. In fact, I'd say a lot better than the first game. It just feels like it has more polish. It has way more content. And it's going to be a great experience for you. If you're into kids games, you're into platforming games, collect-a-thon games, if you're into PJ Masks for whatever reason, this is going to get all your bases covered right here.
Be careful. There are a lot of enemies around.
There's just so much here. And it's a welcome departure from the first game. I keep saying that, but it really is true. It just has a ton going for it. It's a great game. So I'm going to go ahead and review here, guys. It's been a look at the second level here of PJ Masks. Heroes Mighty Alliance. I want to thank Outright Games for your opportunity. I want to thank you for watching, thank you for subscribing, and as always, till next time, take care and happy gaming.